All right, Miles, what did you read recently?
I read The Martian by Andy Weir, which is now a movie. I think it's a definitely a blockbuster hit. Like a lot of people have been going out to see it. I thought it was really good.
No, I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it. So, could you give a summary?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, I guess. Basically, the main character gets he's on a Mars mission, basically, like I want to say Ares 3. Yeah, I believe the third manned Mars mission, right? And everything's going well for the first 2 days on the mission, and then the third day they get a Martian storm of some kind, and the winds are too high for them to safely stay on the planet. So they go to evacuate. And this is all at the beginning of the book, FYI, so it's not a spoiler or anything. But they go out, they get ready to evac. A satellite dish crashes into a communications pole thing, and it hits him and impales him a little bit. Here probably.
A little bit.
A little bit. Like it's not terrible. It's not like right through center mass, just destroys his organs. But it's like it's enough to make it a problem. And it breaks his suit. That's the biggest issue. It breaks the
spacesuit.
Yeah. It breaks the airlock. That's the biggest issue.
So does he die?
He does not. He does not, because it's not a massive rupture and it's not like a pure vacuum. It's the Martian atmosphere, so it's a little better.
Oh, right.
Right. It's bad. It's super low pressure, but it's better.
So when is this set?
This is set in. I don't know, actually. I don't think they give a specific date. It's the future. I think probably 2030s. Probably.
Right. So really not that far.
It's a realistic time frame for sure.
Okay.
The main character is Mark.
They didn't invent any huge new technologies except for those necessary to be on Mars. I mean,
yeah, there's some sweet technology that goes into being on Mars, but no,
there's no time machines or anything that's like.
It's not science. Well, it's it's science fiction,
but like just enough to get the setting
right.
Work.
So it's not. So Star Trek is science fiction, like 2001: Space Odyssey is science fiction, and Martian is science fiction. Like it's a fictional story that has a very scientific premise. That being said, it's entirely like within the realm of reality. It could this absolutely could happen. It likely won't, but it could. All of the things that I noticed, at least, there was nothing that immediately stuck out to me as suspect. Yeah. Yeah, and so he gets hit with the pole. His crew looks around for him for a second, and then they leave. They back. They get on the little lander and they fly back to the ship that's orbiting the planet, and they rendezvous and they leave. And they leave. They think he's dead. In fact, he isn't. He regains consciousness, patches the hole.
So they leave him there?
They leave him there. They can't take him because they can't find him in the dust storm.
Oh.
So they have to leave.
Okay.
And also he's like a heavy thing stuck around, He removes it.
He's like stuck to the ground because of the pole?
I don't think he's necessarily stuck to the ground, but he's been hit with a pole, and it is a very blindingly powerful dust storm. So it's not feasible for them to get him. And so he regains consciousness because of his alarm blaring in the suit, and he, I guess, dislodges the pole. I don't think he pulls it. I don't know. I don't remember necessarily. It was a little bit ago. And he patches it with the gel, and he goes back inside and has to figure out how to survive on this planet with nobody, the limited resources that he has in the have, which I'll get into that in a second. And then he has to figure out how to make this work, right? That's basically the premise of the book. And then the rest of the book is him surviving on the planet, trying to find a solution to his problem. And so I can get into a bit more if we need to be. But I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. It's a fairly easy read if you can get past the science jargon. Like I'm pretty science oriented. I guess I'm more interested in that than I would be.
Yeah, I just read it fast.
Right. So if you understand that and are familiar with chemistry, physics, stuff like that, it's a pretty easy read, and you just get through it quickly. And he's pretty funny. It's mostly written. I mean, it hands off, but a lot of it is written from his perspective of his audio log that he makes on the planet. So it's.
Does he reconnect with the civilization, or is it mostly him surviving in the Martian wilderness?
So for about 100 pages, it's just him hanging out, just surviving on the Martian wilderness, and then he starts, taking out the rover, seeing how far it can go, doing stuff with the rover, and command back on Earth notices that the rover's moving around. Things are out of place. Things are changing, and they realize that he's alive. And they immediately, it's a huge thing on Earth. Like, everybody's like, Mark Watney is alive. We have to save him, this is enormous. And so, he does not have contact with them. He has no way to contact them, because his comm and his satellite dish have both been destroyed by the storm, which is super unfortunate. And he can't find them, probably got thrown like 400 kilometers away, probably, by the storm. And so, that's not a feasible solution for him. And so, he has to find a way to communicate with home base, and they have to find a way to communicate with him, or he's gonna die, basically. And his biggest limiting factor is food in this, for the most part. Like, he has plenty of water because he has a water reclaimer that can take it out of the atmosphere, which is super cool, as well as like out of like bodily waste and stuff. And then he has an oxygenator and like something that controls the pressure in the vessel, or in the hab, I guess, which is where they live. Yeah. And what's the other one? There are the big three, which is the pressure regulator, it's the pressure regulator, the carbon dioxide thing that takes the carbon dioxide, turns it into oxygen and carbon, and then the water pump, right? And those are the big three things that are keeping him alive. And then he has 60 days worth of food for 6 people.
And what, like, just with him?
Minus 3 days. Well, in the hab, because they send all the stuff beforehand,
right?
And then the people arrive and it's there, and they set it up. And so he has a lot of rations, it's like 500 days rations, a little less than 500, like 400 something. And so he can survive for that many days. If he has to do anything else, he's gonna die. Like, he has to stop.
Wait, was that 20 minutes?
No.
Oh, that would. No. It might have been recording for 20 minutes.
Doubtful. If we have anything, though, you can splice it together. Yeah.
And I still have the audio.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand by if it's in the middle.
Like, whoops, we lost video.
Okay,
Sorry
let me
about
finish
that,
my
you guys.
math problem.
That's Chris's sister. Her name is Allison. She plays trumpet. Cool.
I also do a bunch of other stuff.
That's true, but I know you threw trumpet, so that's the one that comes to my mind immediately. I think you also do gymnastics, yeah? Yep. There it goes.
There we go.
Yeah.
I didn't think to do that.
Oh, yeah, that's clever. I also would not have thought of that.
I didn't want to look at myself, though.
I can't see myself from this far away.
I
think I need glasses.
Reddish dot.
Yeah, I see the reddish dot. I think I need glasses. Anyway, back to the book. So he's on this planet, he has these rations, he can survive for that long. That's not really long enough. I mean, he has to find a way to survive for longer in order to hope that they can get to him and extract him, basically.
Because it takes a long time to get a
space
shuttle to Mars, right?
It takes 6 months.
Okay. So
Well, actually, no. Sorry, it takes 6 months now.
In the book.
In the book, they use something called xenon ion.
So a way to approach the speed of light, or
so no.
is it nothing that?
No. So this is a thing that we're currently researching. This is a real thing. It's an ion booster, basically.
Wait,
right?
how
So
recently was this book written?
This year.
Okay.
Yeah. Or it might be last year. I don't know.
But very recent.
Yes, it is. And so, it is. And so, what it basically does is, instead of what we do currently, which is we have liquid, we have solid fuel, or no, we don't. Sorry, we have liquid fuel and
The initial rockets are solid.
Right. The initial rockets are solid. The boosters are solid. The second stage is all liquid. Third stage is liquid with what's it called, oxygenizer or something like that. I can't remember it right now. So he's on this planet. He has these rations. He can survive for that long. That's not really long enough. I mean, he has to find a way to survive for longer in order to hope that they can get to him. And extract him, basically.
Because it takes a long time to get a shuttle to Mars, right?
It takes 6 months.
Okay. So
Well, actually, no. Sorry, it takes 6 months now.
In the book.
In the book, they use something called xenon ion.
So a way to approach the speed of light, or
so no.
Is it nothing that?
No. So this is a thing that we're currently researching. This is a real thing. It's an ion booster, basically.
Wait,
right?
how
so
recently was this book written?
This year.
Okay.
Yeah. Or it might be last year. I don't know.
But very recent.
Yes, it is. And so Yeah, it is. And so what it basically does is instead of what we do currently, which is we have liquid, we have solid fuel, or no, we don't. Sorry, we have liquid fuel and like
The
oxygen.
initial rockets are
Yeah,
solid.
right. The initial rockets are solid. The boosters are solid. The second stage is all liquid.
Mhm.
Third stage is liquid with what's it called, like oxygenizer or something like that. I can't remember it right now. But what we do is we just burn the amount that we need, and that sets us on a course for intercept, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a one-time burn, and it's really short. It's like I don't know the math on it, but it's not a long burn. So what they do instead in this book is they just fire these ion engines, which have like a low acceleration component. It's like 0.3 meters per second. It's per second. It's very low, but they fire them continuously.
So you're
for
gonna
a
get
long
going
time.
pretty fast.
Yeah, so you get there very, very quickly, comparatively speaking, and so that shortens the time tremendously. But it takes a ton of time to put together a mission to like go to a planet to save a person. That takes a long time as well. So, and there's room for error and all this, and so not enough food. So what he has to do is he goes and he finds potatoes in the hab in their food rations, and they're the only like
freeze-dried potatoes.
No, living
whole
potatoes, whole potatoes. It's the only thing that they have that isn't like freeze-dried or astronaut food.
Okay.
So that's what he has to work with. And he goes out and he takes he has soil samples in the hab from Earth because he needs to do experiments on Mars because it's Mars, that's what you do. And so he has those, and so what he decides to do is he wants to grow some potatoes to get himself some more food. And so he goes out, he gets some dirt from outside, he has to like spread out the Earth dirt to allow it to permeate the Martian dirt, and he like a bunch of stuff. If you were, what's the term?
Agriculturally minded?
I guess, yeah. I was, what's it, botanist. If you're a botanist, it would be very interesting. And he makes it interesting in the book, but I would not be entertaining to explain it. And so I'm just gonna, so he grows potatoes, and that's his food supply. And the book, once they notice that he is alive, like at home base, it becomes an alternating viewpoint between the people on Earth who are working to save him and himself, and later in the book, which I don't want to spoil anything, his crew a little bit. And so the viewpoint is never omniscient, I guess. It's always, when it's on Earth, it's a realistic third-point perspective, and then when it's on Mars, it's him. It's his first-person perspective. Unless it's like something terrible happening to him, which God knows it does. In which case it usually switches to third person just to describe it, because he can't adequately say what happened most of the time. But yeah.
Sure. So who would you recommend this book to?
Geeks, science people. It's like if you're science minded, it's super.
A broader appeal though?
Oh
or
yeah,
is it
absolutely. It's super cool, like to see the future in a realistic setting, right? It's awesome to see like Star Wars and think Death Star and lightsaber, but like that's a universe far, far away. Or galaxy far, far away, excuse me. And, like, that's not realistic. There's no way you can see Star Wars and be like, this is something that I can see in my lifetime. You won't. By the way, sorry to spoil it, you're never going to see Star Wars tech. Just saying. But despite that, like, it's very cool to see actual applicable technology. Like, in literature, which you don't see too often. I thought it was very cool. Kind of makes you hope for the future a little bit. Which is the idea, I guess. Yeah, it does. I thought it was great. Anybody who wants to read it probably should. It's not a hard read. Might need to go on like Wikipedia a little bit, figure out a little bit about.
And it's not a long book, is it?
It's like 308 pages.
Okay,
it's a regular
sizable
book. It's not small. It's not like Gravity's Rainbow, but it's yes, it's not.
But you're not gonna get bogged down reading this book.
No. It moves very well. Very, very well. There's almost no moment of slowness in the entire book that I can think of, at least right now. Which I can't say for most. It keeps you interested for sure. I enjoyed it. You should give it a read.